Hey folks, it's Jim, it's Julie, it's episode 265, and I've had way too much caffeine today.
You too?
Yeah!
Woo!
Woo! And it's the second week of Alternative October. Welcome once again.
I think that's why you're really so excited, is it's Alternative October.
Oh yes, because I don't have to review any Marvel or DC. And yet we're still cheating, but oh well.
Where's the cheating?
We've got 2 Vertigo titles this week.
They're not DC, though.
Technically, you're on a technicality. They're under the same banner. But anyway.
I'll take my technicality.
Then again, I have Walking Dead, so what am I talking about?
First up is one of those cheater books. This is Coffin Hill #1. Wait.
I think the bigger story is on the back cover. Why is there a Dracula TV series?
I was wondering the exact same thing when I saw it. So here's the ad on the back cover for Dracula, which plays
on NBC. Yeah, well,
Friday nights.
They're just trying too hard for terrible things.
Here is the reference to what Jim went, what?
Yeah.
So, back on track.
Let's get back to the comic review, shall we?
Coffin Hill #1. The Coffin family dates back to the days of the Salem witch hunts and has a history stemming from all of the wonderful, wonderful things that happened back then. And yes, I do mean a witchy history. So, the family's cursed, they touch the darkness surrounding them, and...
Do the witches weigh as much as a duck? And
more.
Then they're not witches.
Well...
Because if they're witches, then...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's try our best to keep on track.
I think that train's derailed and gone through a city block.
So the Coffin family is cursed. If they touch the darkness, and I'm talking very metaphysical darkness, not actually like reaching out into a dark room and touching darkness, but if they touch the dark aura surrounding the family, they tend to die. If they embrace it, the darkness tends to take over. So now, the youngest of the Coffin family, a rookie police officer named Eve, has to rectify the choices she made with the darkness when she was a teenager and pay some of the consequences. So, there's your recap. That's the best recap I can give you without giving away anything. But I will tell you that I walked into this book very dubious. Primarily based on the cover, because it looks quite gory. But they've done
there's a bit of gore.
There is a bit of gore, but it's tasteful.
Yeah.
It's not over the top. There's nothing that really makes you go... And I really appreciated that. I appreciate tasteful gore and horror.
Yeah, it's not like the book that we're reviewing next.
Exactly.
But, wow, this book is absolutely gorgeous to look at.
Oh my goodness, is it? It's so pretty inside. I especially loved Eve during her teenage years. She really struck a chord for me, and I think some of you guys who've been following the show for a while will understand.
I think my favorite part, though, in the book probably is the costume design.
It's just fantastic.
It's all beautifully done.
Yeah, all of the book. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the way that messages were conveyed, the timelining, everything about the writing, and I enjoyed the art. So, if you're looking for a new #1 to jump on, this should be the one. Pick up Coffin Hill #1.
Alright, next up, I think you probably guessed what book I was talking about. It's Walking Dead #115. And this is the start of the 12-part miniseries All Out War.
Right.
And in this one, All Out War looms as Rick gathers communities together to battle Negan's forces. But Negan always has an alternative plan that forces Rick into a tougher situation. So...
Sounds good.
It's very talky.
It's The Walking Dead, though.
Yeah, which is good, because you get a lot of really good character moments and stuff like that. But this book is just way overpopulated with posturing. These two opposing forces are basically using the last few pages just to go between each other, posturing. And it really kind of ruins the mood for me. But I know where this is going.
Right.
I know what's coming next. So it works in a story sense for the posturing. So it does work here, and as always, The Walking Dead story is above reproach, if anything. When they make you care about a character, you're going to care about that character, and when they die...
Definitely. And this is... You may remember that, or I am fairly certain that I have expressed on film that I had no interest in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I've now seen all of it, I understand what's going on, and I took a very brief flip through the book and kind of wish that I had grabbed it for review, because it looked good.
Well, it's Walking Dead, so if you're a fan, you're going to enjoy it. And it's going into a storyline that may change the book forever. If
you're not a fan, or if you are looking for a place to come into the Walking Dead comic, I think this would probably be a very good place.
Probably.
I know.
It does kind of recap a little bit of things that have happened, but not a lot. Because this is issue 115. There's a lot of stuff that happened before this.
Absolute worst case scenario.
But of course, Negan is the new big bad.
Absolute worst case scenario. It is the beginning of a storyline.
Yep.
So those are always nice places to jump in. And I can tell you in my brief flip through that it was definitely emotionally provocative.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really good character moments in this.
Yeah,
so
it looked really good. I'm very excited to see what this brings.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out pretty soon because knowing The Walking Dead, it's gonna get bloody real quickly.
All right, next up for me is Hinterkind #1. This is my other cheater book, according to Jim.
Yes.
And in Hinterkind, we have seen the downfall of humanity. They went from the top of the food chain to...
They started watching Jerry Springer and never looked back, and...
They started at the top and moved very quickly to being nearly extinct in a course of 7 months.
That's what happens when you watch the Jersey Shore.
Fair enough. So... Now, we have lions and tigers. Oh, I'm sorry. We have tigans, ligans. That's what it was. Ligans is what they're calling them. And bears and wolves and zebras. All living in a jungle atmosphere, New York City.
Oh. So it's no different than New York now.
Exactly.
Okay.
But, it's really hard for me to recap this because I don't really want to give anything away. But I will say that this is another absolutely beautiful book. The art is fantastic. There are a lot of twists and turns in the book already, and it's only the #1.
Yeah.
So, if you're looking for a new fantasy... Because it's a
very interesting fantasy. The only thing that kind of took me out of it was a bit of the art. But that's just me.
Fair enough. I suppose that I should say that I really enjoyed the color choices.
The color choices were great.
At times the art's a little sketchy.
Yeah, it was a tiny bit wishy-washy at parts.
Yeah. But I still really enjoyed the book.
Over the long haul it works in a way, but we'll see how it evolves over the series.
But if you're looking for a new fantasy, something, or a new post-apocalyptic, anything like that, Hinterkind might be the book for you.
Alright, next up, more zombies!
Yay, it's like it's October or something.
I know, weird, huh? Where's our candy? Alright.
It's not yet.
Oh, okay.
Soon times.
Candy. Anyway... Need I say more? Afterlife with Archie, #1. And in this one, when Jughead's dog, Hot Dog, is killed in a car accident by Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Jughead takes him to Sabrina.
Reggie?
To try to bring back to life. But she must take desperate measures using dark magics, which leads to Riverdale becoming ground zero in the zombie arch-apocalypse. Yeah, I went there. Anyway, this is not your mother's Archie.
You mean this is not the Archie that we grew up with and loved?
Nope, not at all. This is awesome. A completely off-the-wall, new ongoing series that is really, really dark.
Very dark.
And very gory, and definitely not for kids. I'd say anyone teenage and above, sure, but anyone younger than that, no. Keep it away from them.
Well, it is rated teen plus.
Yep. Rated teen plus. Violence and mature content. So, there you go, parents. Don't get this for your kids. Unless you want to see your favorite characters get eaten alive.
Out of curiosity, are these zombies or are they zombies?
I think they're zombies.
Okay. At least that's slightly less dangerous.
Yeah. But, this was actually really refreshing. I honestly will say it was a really refreshing turn for the Archie universe. The art style is completely out in the wilderness, I guess, as you can say.
So unique.
It's so beautifully done.
Agreed.
Just the color scheme and everything. It just works beautifully here.
Simplistic colors and art.
Yeah, but they're using a really nice purple and a yellow back to make it look like Jughead's ill and everything, and it just works beautifully here.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. I have to agree.
And it's just a dark storyline that you're not expecting what to happen next, and there are so many horror movie puns and phrases that are used throughout the series.
Archie using puns?
Yeah, I know.
No, never.
Yeah. But it just works on so many levels, and it just is a beautiful book to read. So, if you're an old school Archie fan and you want to try something a little darker and a little bit different, check this one out. But if you want to get a new zombie series, or if you just want to see your favorite Archie characters die horribly,
or if you want to see your most hated Archie characters
die horribly, take that, Dilton.
What's wrong with Dilton?
All right, die, Moose, die.
All right, I'll allow that one.
I sure do hope that Reggie gets eaten first. Hot dog turns Reggie into a hot dog. Anyway.
All right, moving on.
But yeah, if you want to try something really out there and a lot of fun, check this one out. It's really dark and just beautifully done. And that's an Archie comic!
Last up for me this week, guys, is Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 19.
It's like it's Halloween or something.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
It's like that's coming soon.
Yeah.
You know what else is coming soon? Halloween Comic Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Comic Connection in Hamilton is participating.
Yep.
If you're not in the area, you'll want to check with your local comic shop retailer to see what they're doing. For us,
there are a bunch of really great free comics that are for like all ages and adults and everything in between.
It's a mini free comic book day. It runs the last weekend in October. We are running it here with one comic per person, and you must have a costume, an easily detectable costume to qualify.
No, just wearing a mask and saying you're something.
Yeah, no,
that's cheating.
You have to put some effort into it. But we have a lot of great titles coming in, and we'd love to see you come out. We'd love to see the costumes. So, I digress.
Yeah, let's get back to the review.
Simpsons Treehouse of Horror brings us 3 great new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror short stories. The first short story involves Homer finding a spooky mansion on his way home with a sign out front proclaiming free beer and donuts.
Because, Homer can't resist that.
Exactly. So, we go with Homer as he tries to...
All it needed was TV.
Exactly.
Homer would have been in heaven.
Exactly. So, we walk with Homer as he experiences a haunted house on his quest for free beer and donuts. The second short story has Lunch Lady Doris? Oh, good, I was right. Has Lunch Lady Doris substituting school supplies for the lunch menu, which
that number 2 pencil, delicious.
Best French fries you'll find.
Mm-hmm.
But her substitution makes Principal Skinner very upset, and he fires her, hiring new lunch people, and lo and behold, the new lunch food tastes fantastic. When a skeptical Lisa takes it to Professor Frink for examination, they find that the lunch food is actually making people smarter. They have a 1-point IQ raise per minute. It also is making them distinctly more tentacly. So, that was a very interesting story. The third and final story involves Principal Skinner locking Milhouse and Bart in the basement in an old abandoned library. Until they have fully cataloged and put every book away. Things start to take a turn for the worse, though, for Principal Skinner when Bart finds the Necronomicon.
Because that's exactly where that would be.
Yes. So, guys, Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, it's exactly what you're expecting. It feels exactly like the television show. And if you love The Simpsons, this is the book for you.
Alright, and last off this week, it doesn't have anything to do with Halloween.
Nothing at all.
Or horror. It's Elfquest, the final quest.
Well, it does have to do with fantasy.
Yes.
People dress as elves for Halloween.
That is true. And in this one, the growing threat of a tyrant obsessed with exterminating all elves forces Chief Cutter to examine the past so his wolf riders may have a future.
Oh, neat.
Alright, so this is the start of the final story arc for Elfquest. This is about almost 40 years in the making.
Oh, wow.
It's been running since about the late 70s or so. So this is a long time coming. And my God, is this book gorgeous.
I agree. There were definitely quite a few moments as I flipped through, and I didn't see every page. Yeah. I took a very cursory, literally flip.
Yeah.
And there were points where I went, ooh, pretty.
This is probably Wendy Pini at her very best as an artist, and it is just gorgeous to look at.
I absolutely agree.
If you're a longtime Elfquest fan, you're probably not going to be able to get too much into this because it goes over a lot of stuff that's already happened. But as a new Elfquest fan, it's the perfect place to start anew and see where it all ends up. So check this one out. I absolutely adored it, and it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. And if you're an Elfquest fan, it's the end of an empire, I guess you can say. So check this one out. See how it all comes to a close.
Alrighty.
Alright, and that brings us to a close this week.
Nice.
For another... I tried. That'll be $500. But anyway, that brings us to the close of another exciting episode of Geeking Out. Unfortunately, this will probably be the final episode of Geeking Out on Blip and iTunes because they have removed our channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I'm working on getting that fixed, but I don't know why they removed us, but we're going to see if we can get that fixed. And we're still on YouTube and a couple other places, so check us out there until I can get everything worked out. But we will hopefully see you next week for another exciting episode. See you then.